Now that we have learned about different type of variables, let's read them from the keyboard or using the scanner class, a tool that is available in Java libraries. So I'm going to start with importing the java.util.scanner class, which is available to us. So as I said, we're going to talk about like a scanner class and classes in more details later, but for now we're going to just use them. So at the very end of the main method, I'm going to create a scanner class object. So as you see, that's a pattern that I'm following all the time. First, we're having the type of the variable, then the name, and then on the right side, the equal sign, we have the values. So as you see, scanner is the type or the tool that we're going to use. And then I'm going to give it a name, and I'm going to call it KB, stands for keyboard. It is up to you the name of the variables, but all the time we're trying to give the variables meaningful names. So scanner KB equals to, and for now, just accept from me that that's the way that we're going to define the scanner object. System.in inside the pair of parentheses after the word scanner and also after the keyword or the reserved word new. So here I have created an object of the class scanner, or another word in a variable of the class scanner called KB. So I'm going to read or assign values to number 1, number 2, number 3, ch, truth, and f. So here, maybe before actually reading these values, what I can do, I can print the values of these variables. So let's do that. Here, let's add a comment, which is using the slash and slash, same printing variables. So as you remember, when we have a comment, comments are ignored by Java compiler. Means that I can write whatever I want here without being worried that compiler, having issues reading or compiling or interpreting what they have written here. So that's just for explanation. Another word, comments. I think this is very self-explanatory. Okay, here I am writing System.out.println, which is print something, and going to the next line, I'm saying print number 1. So it's going to print number 1. But this is going to be ugly way of printing. Let's instead add some spice to our code, make it more decorative by having some explanation inside a double quotations, and that is a string or a sequence of characters. So here I'm writing number 1 equal to, and then I have here plus number 1. Okay, I'm going to explain this expression I have written here. Number 1 that you see here inside is double code is only a sequence of characters. So this N, U, M, 1, and equal sign, although we can read them as number 1 equal to, but honestly they are just a sequence of characters. So this N, U, M, 1, as we see here, doesn't have anything to do with this number 1 that we have here. As you see also, when I'm clicking on this number 1 here, this is highlighted, and this is also highlighted because they are pointing to the same thing. This number 1 is the variable that I have defined at line 15. But this NUM1 equal sign is just a sequence of characters that they read to number 1. And that's why we have put them inside inside double quotation to say that they are strings or sequence of characters. So why I'm writing this sequence of string characters or strings here, just to decorate my my code, just in order to tell people that are gonna see the output, what is this number 1 that's gonna be printed. Without having this explanation or this sequence of characters here, only the number 5 will be printed. So no one will honestly understand what is this value and where does it come from. Okay, so that's for number 1. Let's also have the print statement for the other one. I highly recommend you to not to copy these statement and paste it here, but instead type System.out.println every time that you want to print a variable. That is to practice, just to see that if you're having some syntax issues or not. For example, if I forget to put an I here, it's gonna give me an error. Okay, what's the error? You can just move your mouse here, and as you see here, it says cannot find symbol. And what is that symbol that it says? It says method println. That means that I have misspelled the println. So I'm going to fix that one with this println. So I really suggest and highly recommend you to actually type this one to see sometimes the errors, to understand different possibilities of like the having problems when working with programs or when writing programs. Okay, now the next one, so it's gonna be number 2, and here's gonna be again equal sign plus number 2. As you see here, this time I use a capital N for this string here. I put a space here, and I put another space here. Again, that's just wanted to show you that it's okay if you just write the capital letters here, but I cannot use a capital letter here. As you see here, there is an error here that cannot find symbol variable number 2. And you might ask, okay, we have already defined number 2 here, so why the compiler of Java is very unhappy about with us? The problem is, in Java, identifiers are case sensitive. So this number 2, although we might pronounce it or read it as the same way that as we are reading this number 2 here, but honestly there are two different things. This one is with the capital N, this one is with the lowercase n. So as you see here, when I'm clicking on this number 2, this one is not highlighted. So if I want to fix the problem, I simply need to return it back to number 2. And as you see here, when this is highlighted, this one is highlighted as well. Number 1 highlighted, number 1, number 2 highlighted, and number 2 highlighted. So maybe I have forgotten to also explain this plus sign here. Let me explain it now. This plus sign or operator here says concatenate the value of this number here to this string number 2 space equal to. So this way, Java will treat this number 2 as a string or as a character, and will concatenate that number as a string or as a character to this string that I have here. So whatever the value here will be attached at the end of, or will be appended at the end of these pair of like at the end of these string that I have here. So that's for concatenating or appending or attaching two strings or one number to a string together. Okay, we have some other numbers like the number 3, and also we have some other variables. So I'm going to also write the System.out.println for this one as well. So System.out.println, and then here I have let's also decorate our code. So number, this time I'm going to put a space here, 3 plus num3. Again, just make sure that same spelling and the same way of like defining the variables. And now here I'm going to use the System.out.println one more time, this time for the character. And then here, as you see, this time I use a very different kind of message that's going to be printed. So character ch is, and I'm going to write ch. So the ch will be printed. And I'm using the System.out.println one more time. So here I have like the two Boolean variables that are truth and also f. So here I'm going to say truth plus the truth variable, and another System.out.variable, which was again just some sort of the messages just to show that how it works. And now I'm going to run the project. Again, you can go to the Run menu, click on the Run project, or in this case, press F6, or you can click on this button here, Run project, or another way, you can right-click here, so right-click and then click on Run File. All of them going to do the same thing. So here the code is complete. Now we have number 1 equal to 5, as you see. Number 2 is equal to 10. Number 3 is equal to 15. Character CH is A, as you see here, and truth is true. And is it false? We have the false value as if false. So as you see, when we are printing the actual, like the characters, we are not seeing the double quotes. The single quotes or the double quotes are only used when we're working with just the program itself. And you might ask, okay, now how we can actually print a single quote, maybe around A, or around maybe the CH, or what about like having this double quotation around around this number 1, as we see here. So I'm going to just show it, for example, for this CH here, that how I can just put this A inside a single quote. So I'm going to put the single quote 1 here and another plus here. So again, a pair of like the double quotations or double quote, and then another single quote here. So let me run the code one more time to see the result. As you see here, I have character CH is A. And again, you don't need to put a single quotation around the letter A, but in case if you want just to learn how to print like the single quotation as well, you can do that. So as you see here, I printed character CH is a single quote, so printing up to here, and then I printed the letter A, which was A, and then after that I concatenated another single code to after the letter A. So that's how it's printed. Okay, now, so to print is double quotation, this story is a little bit different. So I'm going to show you how it works. Let's just start by putting the double quotation here and see that what happens, and honestly going to work or not if we just put a double quotation here and here. As you see here, just by putting 2 double quotation around the number 1, I see an error. The reason is the double quotation in general is used to surround a sequence of characters, or in other words, a string. So if I want to use the double quotation as something to be printed, I need to use a backslash before the double quotation. So a backslash here to put the double quotation before N, and I'm going to put another backslash before this one here in order to put a double quotation after the equal sign. So now the expectation is I see a double quotation here before N and 1 after the equal sign. So let's run the project one more time and see the result. As you see here now, I have this number 1 inside the double quotation. And again, if you want to print double quotation itself as a character, we need to put backslash before the double quotation. You don't need to put actually 2 double quotation. If you want to only use 1 double quotation, then you need only to put 1 double quotation and 1 backslash. If you want to put more than that, you need to use again the same pair of like the characters, a backslash and a double quotation.